Following the next steps, which were outlined at the end of the Blue Team's connector deployment, the first step is to create a DNS record to point towards the public IP address of the load balancer. Here, the DNS record was added by the DNS admin already, which is confirmed by running an NS lookup from the command line. The second post-deployment step is to give consent to the Teams connector, specifically the CVI application, to work with our Teams tenant. This step needs to be carried out by a Microsoft 365 admin with global admin privileges. Copy the URL from the next step's output and access it via your browser. You can click the Initiate Consent button and log in using your Microsoft 365 admin account. However, you can also specify a particular Microsoft 365 tenant to consent into. Here, the tenant is being specified as it allows you to be precise and avoid any mistakes. For example, if you have multiple tenants you work with regularly, it avoids any confusion. You can check your tenant ID online. Paste in the tenant ID, then click the button to initiate consent for the specified tenant. Log in with your Microsoft 365 Global Admin account, and when prompted, review and accept the permissions. Once completed, you should see that consent was successfully granted. The last few post-deployment steps are to allow CVI calls to bypass the lobby, configure dialing instructions, then add CVI capability to users so that their Teams meeting invites include CVI dialing details. Ensure that you are running PowerShell as an administrator. Prepare the script file with the commands from the docs. The new CS Video Interop Service Provider command, you must edit it to suit your environment. Set the tenant key, which is the address to be used for the Teams virtual reception. Refer to the docs on how to construct the instruction URI. It's a URL which controls the appearance of the alternative dialing instructions in a Teams CVI invite. The AAD application IDs should be populated with the app ID of the connector, which was saved earlier. Go ahead and run the commands. The final post-deployment step is to enable CVI for users. This can be applied globally or on a per-user basis. Here it is set for all users, meaning that everyone's Teams invites will include CVI details. Run the command. Note that it can take up to 24 hours or more for the CVI details to appear in users' Teams invites, and Pexip has no control over this. This completes the deployment of the Blue Teams connector into Azure.